what needs should be kept in mind while charting up a marketing plan for an SME?
So, like I said, one of the key factors is if you have X amount of budget for marketing, you have to make sure that, first of all, reduce the niche to a highly targeted audience. And you don't understand it, but that audience itself could be extremely huge. But we tend to see that that is not the case. But niche, absolute small niche, target them. If that itself is not coming out or that is not sustainable enough, increase or create another niche and another niche. So create small niches and you'll make it bigger. So an example is Nike. Let's start with Nike. Nike started by focusing their effort on athletes running. So they created running shoes and they focused their effort on
Only that.
athletes for running shoes. And then they started going for, say, tennis, basketball. They took one by one niche at a time. Their overarching brand philosophy was same in the sense that I am creating shoes for the professionals or the best performance. But then they started targeting only one niche. So that is a critical factor. So you start with the small, then selecting your channels. As I said before, do not go and select random channels where it's mass media trying to communicate everything. Go for a smaller bucket. Then what she was talking about also with a lot of, you don't sustain your promise or you don't keep up that force towards sustaining that promise over the years. It is important to focus on that. I guess these are the three things.
Lovely.
In fact, maybe Adil can contribute to this one because I think the way they are working towards their brand recently and how they are uplifting their brand is very aligned to what Zubin had to say, because I think Divanya as a brand for the longest time was trying to sell everything. Sell everything to everyone, right? And I think now with Adil stepping in, what they together came up with was the decision to kind of make it seem more curated, make it seem more niche, make it seem more selective, and have just crux up that target audience and define that I want this kind of guy or this kind of person to walk into my store and buy my product. I want our brand to be spoken in these circles, in these income brackets. You know that when you are breaking your brand into, or rather curating or collectively building a brand with mass premium, I should go like that, mass premium luxury, you are actually like keeping that as a major filter, right? That is my person going to be able to afford this, right? And accordingly you are thinking that, okay, this guy has in our workshop, in fact we had one of these discussions that what is the brand ecosystem of a consumer, right? What is it that what is he surrounded with? Does he have a Samsung phone, Oppo phone, Redmi phone, or an Apple phone? That gives you a very clear idea on the understanding of that person. Do they want to spend lesser and still have all the facilities they have? They don't care about like what the brand they are holding. But having said that, there are still people who associate themselves so closely to a brand that I want my laptop, my phone, my watch, my everything from this specific brand. Because having said that, they feel that sense of belonging. That brand has been able to create that for them. That, okay, now they just want to purchase from there itself, right? Then in terms of their idea of utility, how much like are they thinking in terms of that? So spending versus utility in that per se, right? what cosmetics they hold, what apps they are holding. And sometimes the question that we ask while our consumer research is actually that which are the 5 brands in your ecosystem. So even the choice of brands, that gives us a decoded understanding of what is the ecosystem of this person. He can be choosing 5 apps for all I know. They can be choosing Instagram, they can be choosing, I don't know, Mintra, and maybe other brands. So you understand the inclination of the consumer towards online and offline businesses and brands as well. So lot of decode and understanding that can be done, just understanding your consumer and how he said niching them out. And there itself you're creating a huge pool, a selected pool right there.
I wanted to add something with what she was talking about earlier in terms of complementary brands. So I don't know in depth about House of Bandies, but from my understanding right now, you have a very niche customer base focused on sustainability. And the fact of the matter is, your customers have needs and wants. And generally speaking, a brand can get that needs and wants in a particular manner. But there is another brand who's also fulfilling that need. And you seem to be creating 10, 15 different options for the same customer. So that adds into how the customer wants to. So you have a very focused niche, yet you want to fulfill their needs through different methods.
For me, customer is king. So if they want a particular thing, I make sure that brand, I curate a brand which has that. So like if only linen, there's a brand only linen, Safed. So they came up to me and I tried to get them on board only because there are people who want to wear only linen or only mulcane brick cottons and only ajrak prints or things like that. So then I try and create that according to what customer. That's why when you're there, you have to interact with the customer on a daily basis to understand what they want, and that's how in a year and a half, House of Valleys become this. It's a long process, but it's grown to this, and I'm happy about it because I know what my customer wants, and I try to keep it that way. I don't bring in other things and confuse the customer, but just that.
So that adds to the point of her company having defensibility. What it means is, if you're concentrating on a small niche of customers, she is in tune with her customers' needs like no other people. Because
Correct.
she's interacting with the same set of customers and at multiple types of needs in there. And she seems to be creating a tacit knowledge which none of her competitors can actually.
Correct.
So I take pride in repeat customers. So when they come second time, I give them an off. Oh, you are our esteemed repeated customers, so you get that. So I give them a card and those kind of stuff which make them happy and they come back. So then again, word of mouth that you said, I didn't know about it until you told me. Word of mouth is very important because if a friend tells you rather than you seeing it on media, that's even more better.
Correct.
So your friend tells you, you get that in House of Annie, it's amazing, you should go there. That is more, stronger.
Yeah. Yeah, actually, like that also can add to the idea of sustainability of an SME, right? Like when the founder himself or herself is regularly interacting with their consumer, they are actually also coming up with ideas on a regular basis to, I can do this, I can do that, this is how I can grow, and this is how I can solve better. Then each consumer actually becomes a persona. Each person becomes this ecosystem of ideas that are pooling in your own head, where you are going like, oh, this is, and you're also able to know how the trends are changing, what people are liking. So those regular conversations also feed into the sustainable aspect of running a business, I think. So I think it is, and that I think is a plus point when there are smaller teams, because everyone is actually more hands-on and interactive with the consumer.